Today's April 24th, 2023. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, just a few things today. First, last Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court voted 7-2 to allow or permit the FDA to continue to have the abortion drug mifepristone sold in pharmacies all across the country. Now, remember back, that Texas judge, Matthew Kacsmaryk, ruled about 3 weeks ago that he concluded that the FDA had erred in not following specific or certain protocols, safety protocols, when the drug was first being considered back around 1999 or 2000. And because of some of these irregularities and women being dying from complications or just having severe complications by using this drug, he basically took it off the market pending a review by the Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit down in New Orleans. Well, the Fifth Circuit ruled in Kacsmaryk's favor, and that brought a huge outcry or a firestorm by the pro-abortion people, to the extent that even some pro-abortion lawmakers in Washington were telling the Biden administration, just ignore it. Just ignore the Fifth Circuit's rule. We don't have to abide by these people. Well, that's not the way it works in our judicial system. That's just not the way it works. But Sam Alito and Clarence Thomas were the two pro-life votes from this past Friday. And Alito wrote an opinion, and he was worried that the Biden administration would be inclined just to ignore the appellate court's decision. Here's from his opinion, quote, "The government has not dispelled legitimate doubts that it would even obey an unfavorable order in these cases, much less that it would choose to take enforcement actions to which it has strong objections." So he wanted, while this case is working its way through the legal system, he wanted to make sure that mifepristone was on the shelf, not the pharmacy shelves, but put on the shelf, blocking it to be sold in pharmacies across the country. So the case is not over. The court will revisit this issue when this court case works its way through the system. Okay. On Friday, the Kansas governor, a woman named Laura Kelly, she's a pro-abortion Democrat, an ideologue, she vetoed a bill that would have allocated $2 million in grants to pregnancy care centers to increase resources for women who decide to parent, or if the mother chooses to put the child up for adoption. Governor Kelly does not believe that these life-affirming centers actually help women. The only kind of help Kelly supports, tragically, is to see more abortions than ever before. Now, the good news is, and there's always, in some of these conservative states, there is always good news, and that is there's such a strong bipartisan pro-life majority in the Kansas State House and State Senate that the governor's veto will be overridden. I mean, it's overwhelming how much of the state's lawmakers are pro-life from both parties, which is amazing. But her bill will be overridden and it will take effect. The previous week, Governor Kelly vetoed another bill that would have stopped infanticide and protect babies who actually have the nerve to survive abortions. And her veto, like the other one, will be overridden as well. And it does make you wonder, given how conservative and pro-life Kansas is, it does make you wonder, how did this woman ever get elected? I mean, how did that ever happen? Well, I don't know her background, whether she's going to be term limited or if she's going to run for re-election next time, but I sure like to think that enough pro-life voters would wake up and vote this lady out of office if they have the chance. Vote her out. Last item. And we have seen this rodeo too, unfortunately. A bill is moving through the Illinois legislature, it's moving quickly, that would severely restrict pregnancy care centers. Pro-abortion lawmakers contend that these pro-life centers are deceptive because they lie, they mislead, they confuse women into somehow believing that they don't do abortions when it's clear they don't do abortions. But somehow they have concluded that pregnancy care centers must advertise that they provide abortion services. So, it's just crazy. If this bill passes, and I regret to say that I'm pretty convinced it's going to pass. Illinois is a very pro-abortion state. If state officials determine that a crisis pregnancy center is being deceptive from their terminology, they could fine the pregnancy care center up to $50,000. Now, if you run a small pro-life operation on a shoestring budget with volunteers, a $50,000 fine could easily run you out of business. That's exactly what they want to do. There have been efforts in Michigan just before the end of the year where some pro-abortion legislators, just before the end of last term, they wanted to impose rate restrictions on pregnancy care centers here in Michigan. And the bill died because it was before the end of the term, and the Republicans still control the legislature. But mark my word, Governor Whitmer wants to see every and any pro-life clinic closed. You got to trust me on that. She wants these things closed and run them out of business, run them out of town. So with that positive news, remember, Kalamazoo Right to Life Focus on Life dinner, May 11th. We are closing in on our dinner to raise money for Right to Life in Michigan. Go on the website, sign up for the dinner, reserve your seat, buy a table, make our dinner a successful dinner, not only to help Right to Life in Michigan, but to help Kalamazoo Right to Life. It is a fundraiser for everybody involved, but mainly it is a fundraiser for Right to Life in Michigan. So with that, I'll let you go. I will see you next time.